Hello, hello! My name is Shelby Dredge and I am with Embellish It, and I wanted to just spend a few minutes today with you and go over some basics on the NeoColor 2s. For those of you that are not familiar with what they are basically a watercolor crayon. They are very easy to use, and I'm going to show you a couple different techniques today. They're very easy to use, and they look stunning on everything that I've ever used these on, and I really love to use these in my Bible because there's no bleed through and they're very forgiving, and I just love the look of it. So I have had a set of 40 and I just upgraded to the set of 84, and I just wanted to open these up and kind of show you a couple things here. So the way these come is you have two trays, and these are metal, nice sturdy trays, and this will show you all of the colors. Now these are all brand new, they've never been used, but I can assure you that they will get lots of love. Now you will notice on some of these darker colors here, it's easier to see that there is like a white film at the top. So I'm going to show you kind of the best way to work around that, because you're going to need to get that white film off before you can really get the color off of these crayons. So the best thing to do is I'm just going to kind of show you here. This here, you can see how it's got the white film on that tip. And what I like to do with this is I just like to scratch it and rub off some color on my metal tin, and you're going to see how that takes that film off, right like that. Don't worry about wasting that, because all you need to do is get your paintbrush wet, and when you wet that, you can easily lift that color off of that metal tin and apply it to your Bible pages or what have you. Now, if you don't want to mess, you can always just take a little bit of water and wipe that off, and it's kind of like a whiteboard almost. It comes off just with water, and you'll never know that it's even there. Okay, now on my set of 40 though, what I have gotten into the habit of doing is I will scratch the different colors. So I'll have green here and blue here and red here and orange here and yellow here, and I can blend my colors together on this metal tin before I actually take it into my Bible or my application. So on mine, I always just have color all over my lid. It doesn't bother me, and it dries, and I can come back and just add water to it later and pick it right back up. So that's kind of a good tip. A lot of people are not sure about that white film, but that is the best way to just get that off there initially, and then you can get the true pigment. Now these NeoColor 2s have a very strong pigment, and the key to remember is the less water used, the more pigment it has, and the more water you use, it will become more watered down and more like a watercolor. So I wanted to just go over with you a couple of techniques on different ways that I have used my Neo 2 colors. So we're going to be working out of Jeremiah, and this is Jeremiah 1:5, and it just talks about how God knows us, and that we are not just a name or not just a number, but that He truly knows each and every one of us. So what I want to do on this Jeremiah page here is I would like to do just a full background, kind of like a watercolor background with greens and blues. So I'm going to just take you step by step and show you how that is done. And as I do this, I'm going to just kind of zoom in here, and I'm going to position this so you can really see. Let's see, just bear with me, because there you go. I really want you to see how easy this really is. So the first thing that I like to do is I'm going to move this so I can have a flat surface. I am going to stick just a cardstock scrap piece of paper behind here. If you have a Bible mat, those work great, paper, whatever. So I'm just using a scrap piece of paper. And I like to start with my lightest colors first. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of lightly shade or color in my Bible on my page. And I'm starting off with this really light, let's see, what's this called? Yellow-green. And for those of you that have worked with watercolors before, the traditional watercolors, these work the same way. And that is, it's all about layers and blending colors. And you'll find that these blend beautifully. Once you add that water, they just kind of melt together. So I've kind of done what I feel like is a pretty good background. Now I could actually add water to this, let it dry, then do my next color layer, let it dry, and then my next color layer, get it wet, let it dry. But instead, I'm going to do it all at once, and I'm going to show you how easy that is. So that's the first color that I used. Then I'm going to, I love this green. I'm going to kind of add this green. It's almost like a melon. And I'm just going to kind of go down the middle like this. And maybe add some up here. Again, just really random, nothing precise or anything. I'm going to add some blue. And the blue I'm going to have go kind of over here. And we'll kind of go a little bit here. And we'll add some there. And I'm going to add just a little bit more here. Okay. And then I'm going to add this, it's almost like a bluish purple. I'm just going to kind of add that throughout. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some yellow. And the yellow I'm going to do darker. I know in the beginning I said that you want to do your lighter colors first. But I'm going to show you that, you know, even though that is suggested, we don't always have to follow the rules. It is very forgiving. And so I'm just going to add those touches of yellow there. Okay. I'm thinking that is totally fine, and now we're ready for step 2. Step 2 is to add water. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get our water, and I always, when I'm using water, I always like to have a paper towel just really nearby. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to saturate those yellow marks that I did because they are very bold, and they're the lightest color on here. So I want to do those first. Now, one tip that I can give you here is you're going to want this paper before we get it saturated. You're going to want this paper totally pretty tight under there because that's going to keep it from bleeding through. Whenever we do this area close to the seam here, I always like to put a sheet of cardstock on here too. I'm going to move my water a little bit so I don't spill it. And when I do that seam, I also don't really like to have a ton of water on my brush because I don't want to have any bleed through onto the other page at all. So I am just kind of getting that seam, and as you notice, I'm brushing the water towards the inside of the page. And you can see here where that's kind of bleeding through. The great thing about watercolor is you can always just pick up that color very, very easy and just wipe that through. Again, all I did is dipped my brush in clear water, and I did that. And then I'm just going to kind of take this and make sure that it all got out. Okay, that's how easy that is. All right, so I'm getting pretty close to my little seam here with this color. And then I'm going to start just saturating the rest of my page. So I started off with the yellow. I'm now doing all of the greens and the blues. And I'm just taking my brush the same direction, left to right, as I'm saturating my paper. Now in this, I am really getting my paper wet. And I think this makes a lot of people nervous at first, but you will notice when we're done here that your paper will dry really fast, and it being completely wet does not damage your paper or your Bible at all. So I am liking how my blues and my greens, and then I've got those little splotches of yellow. If I want those yellow splotches not to get muddy like that, I'm just going to take my paper towel and I'm just going to dab some of the green and blue off of those so they remain pretty yellow. Okay, so I'm thinking that this is looking good to me. Okay, I am totally good with how this is turning out. It's just going to give us a real nice subtle custom background of color before we do any other journaling onto this. Now, the next thing that I will tell you is it's totally wet. You don't want to handle it. I know some people dry it, but I have found the best thing to do is simply just stick another piece of scratch paper in here, and you're just going to close your Bible, okay? And I like to apply just a little bit of pressure, and then I'm going to put this Bible just to the side, and that will dry in about 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I want to show you a couple of other techniques that you can do and different ways to use the NeoColor 2s. All right, so on this example, I hope that you can see that. Yep, looks like you can. Okay, on this example, what I'm doing is I'm starting with a dark color and then I'm having it fade to be a really light color. So I've done a couple here already, and I'm going to show you how to do this technique. On this technique, we're just going to use a water pen, and or a water brush. This is basically just a plastic pen, and you put water in the bottom of it. There's a little area right here that as you're going, you can push that and more water will come out. So I'm going to do this lime green here, and I'm going to bring my paper towel here as well. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of water, and I'm simply rubbing the tip of my crayon to get the color onto my brush. And the less water I use, the more pigment, the darker this is going to be. So I'm going to start off right here, and I'm going to add this lime green, which this lime green is pretty light anyway. So I'm going to make sure that I go pretty heavy on the top. And you can see that this method, you have more control over the colors on here. So I have done just my layer. I'm not using a lot of water. I'm not pressing this at all to get more water flow out. I'm just basically putting that lime green on there. Then I'm going to take my water brush, and I am going to pump up some more water there. So it's very watery. And I'm going to get some water on this bottom section of my word. Then I'm just basically going to take this and just kind of move some of that color down. And as it hits that watery spot, it's going to be much lighter than the top portion. So you're going to do that with each layer, going into all different colors, and that will give you a really nice fade look. Now, before we close this, I'm just going to put a piece of scratch paper right here, and that will prevent it from bleeding onto this page here. I wanted to show you in here, I have a couple of examples of where I actually used my water brush and brushed it on the tip of the color to actually get into the details. So this here, all of the color there was done with the NeoColor 2s, and I'm going to bring this up just a little bit, and hopefully you can kind of see that better. You can see that detail. Now I will say that on here I used the Faber-Castell artist pens, and these are great on top of mixed media, but they also work great for you to draw this out and then add your watercolor, and they don't bleed or fade or anything. So I wanted to show you on here that it has no bleed through, okay? A little bit of shadowing, but nothing on that is bleeding through at all. Then here's another example, and this is a similar example. Let's see, can you see that? This is, I've just done the artist pen, and I've just added little touches of color. Again, no bleed through and very little shadowing. So those are couple different techniques there that we can use with that. Now I wanted to go over this with you on the NeoColors because we have in our May kit, we have included some NeoColors in here. So for those of you that are not familiar, we do a kit club. And I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. There we go. And so we can see everything that's included in here. We do a kit club. It's $15 a month. And we have a theme each month. And everything in the kit is centered around that theme. So May's theme is who are you and who can you become? And so I want to go ahead and kind of open this and kind of show you what is in the May kit. So the first thing that I want to show you, because we've kind of gone over it today, is you get 2 NeoColor 2 crayons. You get a blue and a green. Now it's important for you to know that I chose colors, I chose the blue and the green that were not in the smaller sets. So if you have a set of 40 or 30 or 15 or whatever, you are not going to have these colors. The only way you can get these colors is if you buy the set of 84. So you get 2 of the NeoColor crayons there. You also get a little card here that says be bright, be happy, be you, and that's kind of a fun thing to color. We always include faith-related embellishments. So in this case, this is by Illustrated Faith, and these are their cute clips. So they're felt bows on little paper clips. This kit also includes a pack of 25 Post-it notes that says, remember this. Also, you get 3 sheets of stickers. So these stickers, we have the word strips, we have the circles and the banners and the flags, and then we have the square quotes. So 3 different word strips there. And this is one of my favorites. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm not going to read it, but this is a quote that I love, and so I put this together and put this in your kit this month as well. The thing that I love most about our kits is this right here. This is what we call our inspirational. Our inspirational, it is full of inspiration directly related to the Bible, but also creative inspiration as well. And so you'll find that there's things throughout this that you can trace in the margins of your Bible and so forth. These are 14 pages, and I'm going to go over, I'm going to show you mine, just so you can see kind of how these are meant to be used. So I kind of doodled a little bit on mine. Inside cover, kind of colored it in. And here, I'm not going to read it to you, but I just kind of talked about how I feel like this topic is important because I think there are some people that don't even know who they are, or many of us, I think, at times struggle with fitting in, or who we are, or how important are we. And I think all of us can really use a good reminder. It seems like in this, in our daily lives, we're always told what we're not or who we're not. So I think it's really important for us to remember who we are. So I kind of just express my feelings on that with that. This is a fun exercise that I don't want to go over with you because I don't want to run it for those of you that haven't done it yet. And this one's actually a really, I loved this one. This is a list of verses in the Bible that actually tells you your identity. And some of these are things that we know, but some of them I found very, very intriguing. And I really love this exercise. It does challenge you here at the bottom to take one of these verses each day and to ponder how special that is and how important that is, and kind of evaluate how you are doing in that role. So you'll notice that I have some that are colored. Those are ones that I have worked on this month so far. And as you can tell, I've got a long way to go, but I have really personally enjoyed this exercise here. And the rest of this is just really good reminders and passages that I think that we can benefit from. And so you can tell I've kind of marked some up. I have not completed this inspirational yet, but I have worked in it, and I really love this one. So that's kind of what our inspirationals are about. Again, our kits are $15 a month. They are a subscription-based kit club. And so it's every month we have a different topic. They always include the inspirational and art supply and faith-related embellishments. And so they're always going to have lots of different things for you to try and for you to get. Also, if you want to follow us on the different social media sites, we post a lot on Instagram, and everything that we post for that month revolves around the topic of the month. So some are verses, some are questions, some are challenges, some are sample pages that we've done in our margins with the products in the kit. Others are techniques to show you how to use some of the art supplies and so forth like that. So if you're interested, definitely follow us on social media under Bible Journal Society, all one word. And if you're interested in the kit club or joining the kit club, you can go to embellishkits.com, and there you'll see the Bible Journal Society Kit Club. So that's how you can access us. Now let's go back before we close, and I just want to kind of show you a couple of the things that we worked on and how they're doing. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you for our one that we were working on. You're going to notice that I've got all different layers here, and it kind of fades in and out. And this one here is not quite dry yet, but I think you can get a good idea on how our page looked that we watercolored. And you can see those yellows and the blues and the greens. And I wanted to show you that same exact technique. What I did here was I just added one of our stickers from a previous kit, and you can see how that background just really is very unique and beautiful, and gives a fun look, but you can still read every word underneath it. So it never covers up anything, and it has absolutely no bleed through there, which is a great benefit. The last thing that I want to show you, talking about shipping and happy mail, is I received, I'm so excited, a package from the Pokey Rose. And the Pokey Rose is on Etsy, and they do custom Bible covers and totes and pen pouches. And oh, here is that information, if you can see that, the Pokey Rose on Etsy. And I took a peek of this before I went out of town, and actually I got the pouch out. I couldn't get on the airplane without taking this with me, but it's lined. It feels so